I ate one meal a day for 10 days, and this is what happened to me. I want to talk to you about the increased clarity, the mental energy I have, the physical energy, and then some other cool things as well, like how I'm not hungry anymore. So let's get into it. Let's start with the hunger, because I'm sure you're wondering the exact same thing that I was wondering at the time. If I'm only eating one meal a day, aren't I going to be hungry for the majority of the day? I will admit that was the case for the first and second day, but something really started to change around day 3, and I think there's some science to back all of this up. I'm going to break it down later in the video, but around day 3, I noticed that I no longer had a craving for breakfast or even lunch. And on top of that, I noticed some weird changes happening in how I even thought about food. And let's explore that. So one of the main reasons why I'm doing this is to lose weight, right? But I'm also discovering that there's a ton of other benefits with fasting from food for multiple hours of the day. Some folks call it time-restricted feeding, but I'm gonna just stick with fasting. So the first thing, it can really help shift your metabolic health from going from burning primarily carbs to burning primarily fat. I'm currently probably around 194 pounds right now. So far, I've lost about 15 pounds in my weight loss journey overall, and I'm just getting stuck. And I'm really trying to shake the tree a little bit and try out new things. And so far, this has been really good for helping with my weight loss journey. Just in the past 10 days alone, I've lost close to 5 or 6 pounds, which is pretty aggressive weight loss. And frankly, I'm not even worried about long-term sustainability or if I'm going to bounce back. Just some context real quick. I lost the first 10 pounds primarily from calorie restriction. So as it stands, just some numbers about where I started and where I'm at now. I started this whole weight loss thing at 208 pounds. I had recently gotten married, and just the stress of wedding planning and some job stuff at the time, I emotionally ate, right? So I went from being more or less, and this is kind of funny, I went from being like around 185 pounds to basically 210. The number I last remember recording was 208, but I was certainly heavier than 208 pounds. So I lost the first 10 pounds with calorie restriction, and I'm hitting weight loss plateaus, and frankly, I'm just losing steam to constantly monitor my calories all the time. Like the weight scale and the food weight, both the literal weight scale and the food weight scale. You know, we have kind of this touch and go, will they, won't they relationship, and I'm just getting tired of it. Hey guys, I just wanted to go into Myfitnesspal so you could kind of see like two things. One, what I'm eating, but also like my weight loss journey. So if we go to my weight loss, you can see I really did start at 208 pounds, like I said, and I'm currently around 194. But let's just show like what really happens, right? So here's like the beginning. I started at 208 and I started to really trim up in preparation for my wedding in 2024. So I was going down, and then lo and behold, the holidays hit and I shot back up, got lazy in springtime of 25, and I really started to take things seriously because my clothes didn't fit, and I started trending down. Did pretty well and really hovering in that low 190s range. But look, same thing happened. The holidays came and your boy climbed back up. So I'm really just trying to get off this roller coaster. I'm glad to be back in like the 194 range. And admittedly, the weight loss has been great. I think it's awesome to like be shedding weight at the rate that I'm going. Just a quick disclaimer here, it's ideal to lose about, at most, 1% of your body weight per week. So I am a bit ahead of schedule. So I'm just throwing that out there, but I'm an adult and I make my own choices, and this is a choice I'm making. But outside of just the weight loss, I've noticed some other benefits that I'd like to talk about, because I think I'm gonna try this for the long term. Like I'm thinking like 30 days of this and then doing a follow-up video on this just to report back to see if what I'm saying now holds true, not only in the weight loss, but also some of the mental benefits I mentioned earlier. Around day 3, I think, the first thing I noticed was I was not hungry anymore. If you ever try to lose weight when it comes to like caloric restriction or whatever, you'll kind of have these bouts where you go from being extremely hungry or feeling very restricted when it comes to food. I shouldn't eat this because it's not the right food volume or macros and that type of thing. And you just kind of, it's a lot to track in your head, and I'm fatigued from that, right? So, but going back to what I was about to say, around day 3 of doing 1 meal a day, for whatever reason, I stopped being hungry. Like, I didn't feel like I had this need inside of me to go and eat food around breakfast or lunch. Typically, I didn't really eat breakfast anyway, just for logistical and also practical reasons when it came to calorie restriction. I'm shooting for about 2,000 calories a day when I was just doing standard caloric restriction. I would do like 1,000 calories at lunch and 1,000 calories at dinner, including like the one meal I do eat. I try to get 2,000 calories in that meal. More about that later. Here's what I'm eating. So pretty much a lot of cheese and dairy products. Had some chicken breasts, some chips, some steak, some yogurt, olive oil, kiwi, protein shakes, and so on. So really just trying to like shoot for high protein, a decent amount of fat and carbs as well. So yeah, that's what I'm really eating today. And I'll probably have the same thing later. Around day 3, I just stopped being hungry. And it wasn't until like around maybe an hour or 2 before I was getting reaccustomed to eat. I tend to break my fast sometime around 4 or 5 p.m. with a high protein snack. And it wasn't until like maybe 3 or 3:30 where I'm like starting to get that like, ugh, it's time to eat. So that was one thing I noticed. Another thing I noticed as I've kind of progressed past day 3 is, and I'd say this happened around day 4 or so, or 4 or 5, my energy became extremely consistent, like bizarrely so. And at first I'm just like, well, you know, I'm drinking more coffee and other caffeine to try and, you know, stave off the appetite, right? But even still, it wasn't just like this false mental energy that had this huge tiredness crash later. It was like genuine physical energy. In fact, like I look at my step counter and I'm just like, goodness, like I've already done 8,000 steps and I feel like I got another 2,000 or 3,000 in me, like easily. And it was just really weird to see that, I have all this physical energy and I haven't really eaten all day. Another thing too to go with that is my mental clarity has been great. I work from home and I have a very thought-heavy job. I'm a knowledge worker, so to speak. Basically, I build a lot of pretty PowerPoints, but you know, I have to have opinions on those PowerPoints. And I've just been able to like really lock in and laser focus into stuff. And as someone who may or may not have unmedicated ADHD, this has been a godsend. So it's been really interesting just to see like how this one small change is starting to not only affect both my physical health and my mental health. Going back to my physical health for a second, I'm also training, right? So I try to lift weights 2 times a week and I go to jiu-jitsu class about 3 times a week. You would think that because I hadn't had breakfast or lunch, that my strength would have gone down. In fact, I'm here to say it really hasn't. I've noticed no discernible loss of strength. Maybe that's because the calories I'm getting in from the night before, because I work out in the morning. You know, if let's say if I conclude eating sometime around 5 or 6 p.m., you know, I'll work out around 6 or 7 a.m. the next day. There's like a 12-hour window there. So maybe, you know, there's still some food digesting and I get the benefit of that in the morning. But genuinely speaking, I've even done some workouts more in the afternoon. I just did one on Friday. My strength has not gone down at all. In fact, I would even argue that it's starting to trend upward slightly. I've made no other changes. It's not like I've upped my creatine. It's not like I started taking any special supplements, but it's just been really interesting to see the physical strength benefits as well from just not eating. And here's the interesting thing. Going along with this personal experiment of mine, doing some basic reading, it seems like fasting has some autophagy benefits, which is like the programmed cell death. So maybe it's going to help with cancer and like recycling old cells. It'd be really interesting to see like what happens with my face and things as we kind of go on this journey together. So maybe it'll take care of some wrinkles. I don't know. I feel like I'm recovering faster. I don't have any like hard data to back that up, but the fact that I'm able to work out twice a week, lifting pretty heavy weights, go to jiu-jitsu 3 times a week, and still feel bouncy and like good and not like extremely lethargic. It's anecdotal, sure, but like I feel good. And on top of that too, like I don't have a hard and fast like waist measurement, but my stomach's flattening out. Like I feel less inflamed overall. Like my knees are pretty tricky sometimes and like they haven't been hurting. It's just really interesting. So I wanted to do this video just to kind of talk about some of the things I'm noticing now, like 10 days into this, because I want to try this for 30 days and do another report back. It would be really awesome if a couple days from now I can report back to you guys and be like, hey, I finally broke the 190-pound barrier. I'm back in the 180s. That would be amazing. So, but considering like how good I feel from a recovery aspect, that would be really interesting. So on that note, I'm about to go eat dinner, which is going to be also breakfast. But thank you so much for watching. I'm hoping to post on a consistent basis about every week. Please subscribe if you're interested in following my journey here. I like to talk about outdoor stuff, about to get into some techie stuff soon with that computer right there. And yeah, I just want to see like, will one meal a day change my life? And could it change my fitness? Could it change how I look? We'll see. So I'll report back in about 20 days from now. So it's the end of July, so mid-August, expect an update. Thank you. And one of the perks of eating one meal a day, you get all of this yummy, yummy food. So my favorite part is the egg.